Uryu is a high school student who couldn't read a menu if his life depended on it. Truly the poster child for hopeless bums everywhere. This genius was brought up in an orphanage and then somehow managed to pray his way to a shrine, where he now resides with 3 absolutely delectable mamacitas. Talk about a lucky guy. He went from zero to hero in the most unexpected way. Who knew prayer could lead to such a sweet living arrangement? It's like winning the lottery, but instead of cash, he hit the jackpot with big melon baddies. And bless my soul when I hear that this rizless bum has to marry one of them just to get his hands on the shrine. Remember the Demon Slayer Mugen train arc where we lost Rengoku? We thought he was weak until he faced Demon Moon 6. At that moment, we entered Tanjiro's mind, full of clues. It started with a pale guy in his head, hinting at something tough for me, getting married. He transformed into a human, and with this shiny new life, he's ready to embark on a series of wild adventures, hopefully with fewer awkward moments than a cat trying to swim. He hops off the train, strutting towards a shrine like he's on a mission, all while trying to read a book. I mean, who needs to pay attention to where they're going when you can get lost in some juicy plots instead? Just hope he doesn't trip over a sacred stone while trying to figure out if the hero survives or not. A couple of nosy ladies are convinced he's here to have a little chat with the big guy upstairs, asking for divine intervention to help him ace that exam, because, you know, nothing says, "I'm still a virgin," like a little heavenly pep talk about grades. That's when he dropped a bombshell that left my brain doing backflips. It's downright insane that he's hanging out at a shrine. I mean, it really makes you wonder, who does this guy think he is, the holy grail of questionable decisions? He swung open the door like a dramatic movie star and declared, "I am Kamahati, the top gooner." I mean, with a title like that, he better have a cape, a dangling eggplant emoji, and a theme song to go with it. He strolled through the house that felt as empty as my bank account, but then he caught the sound of girls giggling and changing, and oh boy, the fishy aroma wafting from the door was so strong it could make a cat want to go vegan. He was sharp enough to catch on that things were shifting and decided against opening the door, but his ancestors were practically yelling at him to embrace his true purpose. Like, come on, even the Avatar's ancestors were begging him to take a peep. The girls swung the door wide open and launched their melons right at his face. Talk about a fruity surprise. Who knew a door could be a catapult for such a juicy ambush? Witnessing just one would have been bearable, but getting 3 juicy melons launched at his face? That poor guy went down like a sack of potatoes, landing right on his left cheek. I'm dubbing that the Diddy cheek, because he's now in an oily situation, if you know what I mean. Is it just me, or do the anime gods have a quirky matchmaking system? They pick a guy and throw in 3 girls, one with melons so big they could be classified as separate countries, another who's as mid as a plain bagel but can do everything from cooking to karate, and then there's the petite one, who may have a chest flatter than a pancake but somehow makes you want to pin her to a wall and hear her say "Nani" while you brandish your imaginary. Soared like a true hero. Talk about a wild dating game. They slammed the door like it was a game of whack-a-mole after spotting him, and he thought, well, time to pretend I didn't just witness that circus act. In just a few seconds, the ladies come back fully dressed and ready to kick some demon butt. Talk about a wardrobe change that's more effective than a priest with a holy water squirt gun. Next, we find them at a table where, after a round of explanations and apologies, the redhead doesn't just seem to have blown a fuse. She looks like she's ready to launch a full-scale steam engine. He inquires about the priest's return, and they respond, "Oh, he'll be back later today. Probably after he's finished saving the world, or at least after his coffee break." Asahi Amagami, the baby of the group, strolled over to him and declared that being the youngest means he should gently pin her down. Of course, that's not exactly how the conversation went. She thinks he should roll out the red carpet and serve her breakfast in bed, complete with a tiara and a royal decree that says, "Thou shalt not disturb the queen before noon." The other girl with the raven locks, Yai Amagami, cheerfully insisted he should make himself at home. No need for a welcome mat or a housewarming party, just dive right in. Allow me to present the star of this show, Yay the Meloneer. Yes, you heard that right. She's not just any melon enthusiast, she's the one who takes melon appreciation to a whole new level. Get ready for some juicy adventures, I can't fib. When I laid eyes on those melons, it was love at first sight. And let me tell you, she's as sweet as a summer day. Who knew fruit could be so romantic? The woman of my dreams, you know. The one who can make me laugh even when I'm trying to be serious, like when I'm trying to figure out how to fold a fitted sheet. Seriously, how does that even work? She'd be the kind of person who can turn a trip to the grocery store into a comedy show complete Yuna Amagami, the fiery redhead, was still not on board with the idea of having an Excalibur bearer crash at their place. I mean, who wants to share their space with someone who might accidentally slice the couch in half during a sword practice session? Talk about a real cutting-edge roommate situation. This anime has a plot so juicy it could give Yai's melons a run for their money in a fruit-off. First, Yai leads Kami to his room, and just as she's about to pull a futon out of the wardrobe, the boxes decide to play a game of Jenga. In a heroic dive to save her, he ends up with his face right beneath her impressive melons. Talk about a soft landing! Yuna heard a loud thud and rushed in, only to find her sister's juicy melons decorating Kami's face like a fruit salad gone rogue! Next, while he was engrossed in his reading, Asahi scooted up next to him. When he attempted to nudge her away, she cheekily asked if he had a working machine down there. Talk about a real conversation starter. She turns into Sherlock Holmes, rummaging through his bag like it's a crime scene on the hunt for evidence of his late-night movie preferences. When he attempted to overthrow her reign of terror, he ended up slipping on his own underwear and crashing right into her like a clumsy superhero in a comedy sketch. Once more, Yuna was jolted by a loud thud and rushed to investigate, only to find her little sister covered in Kami like a toddler in a mud puddle. Talk about a sticky situation. Uh-oh, looks like trouble is brewing. The plot didn't just stop there. It took a detour, grabbed a snack, and then decided to throw a surprise party for itself. They say even devils look like angels when they're snoozing. I guess that's when they dream of world domination and fluffy clouds. Who knew evil could be so cozy? Well, that's as true as a cat thinking it's a dog. Later at IHT, Kami heard a sound and thought, is that a ghost or just my lunch trying to escape? So, off they went to investigate. He stumbled upon Yuna snoozing on the floor, and as he attempted to tuck her in, she sprang to life like a startled cat, wrestling with him as if he were trying to steal her blanket. Talk about a surprise wake-up call! Yai and Asahi rushed over to investigate the thunderous noise echoing from Yuna's room, only to stumble upon a scene that could make even the most stoic of statues crack a smile. In under a day, this monkey has managed to twist his imagination into 3 hilarious knots. Who knew primates could be so creatively chaotic? They gather around the table once more, and this time we come to the shocking revelation that the angel who blessed us with these 3 adorable little girls has taken a permanent vacation to the great beyond. Guess she finally decided to trade in her halo for a cloudside cocktail. Yuna shares their unique prayer routine, claiming their god is like a divine tutor who swoops in to help them ace exams. And just when you think it can't get any better, they throw in a shower of stars. Because who doesn't love a little celestial confetti to celebrate a good grade? Kami, on the other hand, takes her belief and tosses it out the window like a bad joke, calling it arrant nonsense and insisting it's as logical as a chicken trying to cross the road for no reason at all. Just picture the chaos that unfolded after that. It was like a soap opera, but with more popcorn and fewer commercial breaks. The following day, a crowd assembled for some heartfelt prayers, and the 3 ladies took the lead like spiritual tour guides on a holy field trip. Kami still believes that the whole god thing is just a big pile of horse manure, and honestly, who can blame them? I mean, if I had a nickel for every time someone tried to sell me that story, I'd have enough to buy a lifetime supply of hay for the horses. Yuna was having a bit of a meltdown trying to chat with a tourist who only spoke English. Enter Kami, the superhero of communication, swooping in to save the day. She started speaking English like it was her second language. Oh wait, it was. Meanwhile, the tourist snatched the talisman right out of Yuna's hands like it was the last slice of pizza at a party. Talk about a dramatic exchange. He told Yuna that if she wants to be a proper shrine maiden, she better start working on her English because even spirits appreciate a good pun. Who knows, maybe the next ghost she encounters will be a real grammar ghost, haunting her with misplaced commas. Just then, a heavy gust of wind blew, and I thought it was about to turn into a scene from a rom-com with skirts flying everywhere. But nope. Instead, a bird that looked like it just escaped from a horror movie swooped down and snatched the hairband that connects Yuna to her mother. You know, the one gift their mom gave them when they were little, and now it's the only thing they have left of her. Talking to the deep end of rudeness about their beliefs, and boy, did that stir the pot. It sparked a colossal showdown between him and Yuna, complete with dramatic gestures and maybe even a few flying popcorn kernels. Later that night, the not-so-bright cow decided to embark on a quest for the missing hair and inadvertently gave the whole idea of prayer a whirl. Who knew bovine spirituality was a thing? Yai and Asahi swung by to see how he was doing, but it turns out his room was as empty as a politician's promises. Yuna stumbled upon him deep in prayer and thought, well, if he's talking to the big guy, I might as well join in. The other girls showed up, all smiles, thinking Kami had pulled a Houdini and vanished from the shrine. Surprise, he's still here, folks. Cue the confetti. As they strolled back, a magical star shower occurred, and at the same time, cherry trees decided to throw a nighttime blossom party. Who knew cherry trees could be such night owls? It's the first anime where the cherry blossoms are like, why wait for daylight? Let's bloom under the stars. Just when Kami declared that miracles are a dime a dozen, a gust of wind swooped in like a superhero and returned the hairband that had gone